What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to show you how to properly change a tire using a tire machine. So let's get at her. Alright, so before you pull a tire off your vehicle, make sure it's properly supported. That way it's not going to, in case a jack or something lets go, it's not going to fall right to the ground. Make sure you got a jack stand or something underneath that's supporting the vehicle. So we're going to get down to this tire here. You're going to want a valve core tool. It's a tool that takes out the core and the valve stem. So we're just going to take that out, and then once this gets out, we're going to grab our pliers, or weight pliers, and we're going to pull off the weights. Alright, now that we got the weights off of it and the valve core is out, we're going to break down the tire. So some rims have a lot of the Ford rims, some of them have a sensor right across from the valve stem, and other vehicles have them right on the stem. So if you're not sure if your vehicle's got a sensor or not, you can always check in your dash to see if there's a TPMS light or a tire monitoring sensor light. Anyways, that, or you can just play precaution every time you change a tire, whether you know or not. So in order to play precaution, you want your valve stem to either be down when you break down the tire, or come straight up. Just common good practice to do. That way you don't have a chance and it gets into a good routine. So we're going to go ahead and break this down. As you can see, my stem is straight up and down. Pull it out, roll it back, and then put it back into place. We'll do it again. Some tires are a little bit harder than others to break down. You sometimes have to work your way around the tire some with the arm here. So I'm going to spin it around to the back side. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the rim, we're going to put it up onto the tire machine. Just make sure your rubber's all fully released from the top side. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to adjust our arm. So we're going to take the arm, get down to where we want it, we'll pull our handle up to lock it into place, so this is not going to go up and down. So then over here on the back side, you have an adjuster that pushes the arm out, so you can adjust it. See how it's kind of, I don't know if you guys can see that moving there. Okay, so right here, this is where the adjuster is. We can turn that clockwise or counterclockwise, which will push on the arm right here to keep it adjusted away from the rim. So when you're doing your adjustment on the rim, we want it to be about here. So when we actually put pressure and pull forward, we can push it away or allow it to come in when you adjust the knob, the bolt here. So we want it just slightly away, and you want it slightly above. Now whenever breaking down a tire, or removing a tire from the rim, if there's ever a sensor that's hooked up to the valve stem, you want to be just in front of it. And reason being is when you actually take your bar and go down in, so you take your bar when you go down in, you're just in front of the sensor. You can push down on this side to relieve tension over here, because there's a lip on your rim. You want your tire to go underneath that lip. Then it's easy to pull up and over. And in doing so, if there is a sensor here, it's like when you pull the tire up, it gets tight here and it gets tight around the rest of the tire. Right there, it's not going to be around it's not going to be tight at the valve stem. You want to pull up on the tire some, and you want to fall in the same spot. So you can lift up here on this side to get your bar down underneath. Sorry, not used to standing on that side. So get your bar down underneath the bottom here, so it hooks on the bottom lip. You pull up on this side, and then you can adjust it so it comes up and over with the bar. You rotate it off again. Then you can slide your arm out. Now the way the tire comes off, you're lifting up and over this. So the tire is going to come up like here. And when you go to put it back on, you want it to come down through here. So we're going to go ahead and clean this tire up, and or this rim, and we're going to clean the rim up, and we're going to change the valve stem. Good tool to have is a pair of side cutters. So if you don't have a sensor here and you're changing out your stem, you just take the side cutters, give it a snip, and pull it up and off. That, or say if this is in there, and this is an alloy wheel and not a steel wheel, you have a valve stem puller. You can screw this down onto the valve stem like so. Then you can take a cloth, put it here on the edge so you don't scratch the alloy wheel, and pull it up and out. Then you can take your valve stem and throw it in the garbage. And so on steel wheels, I'll take a pair of side cutters, pull it up through without trying to damage the valve stem itself. Now on alloy wheels, I'll actually take this here, twist it over, and give her a little pull up so it seats into place. So with this steel wheel here, so it was a little rusty and it's a little bit pitted. So we're going to take some bead seal and we're going to put it on the rim. You don't need an excessive amount. Just enough to kind of paint the surface a little bit. If you put too much, then it just runs everywhere and you're just wasting it. We got our new tire. Now if this was an alloy wheel, I advise you not to put the tire up on the rim. Chances are you're going to scratch the surface or the face of the rim. So a lot of times you want to keep it down and off. So with this being a steel wheel and hubcaps go over top, not too worried about it, because if it does get scratched slightly, you're not going to notice anything. So you're going to want to take some tire lube. You're going to put it around the bead. You're going to do the same thing for the other side. Put a bit of tire lube around the bead where the tire slips onto the rim. You don't want to get a whole bunch on there. You want to get a smear on the bead, but you don't want a bunch falling down into the tire. Reason being is when you actually go to put it onto the balancer, if there's a bunch of water or fluid down in the tire, when you go to balance it, it might throw the balance off. Some tires are also inside outside, so you want to check your sidewall, see if it's inside outside depending on tread. This one here is universal, the way the tread looks. Some tires are directional, other ones are not. Keep that in mind. And I don't see an outside. So we're going to kind of slide the tire like that. We want to put the tire like this. I'm going to get you a better angle here. We want the tire to go like this. Oh, and when you're putting the tire back on, the valve stem's there. You want the valve stem on the opposite side. So the valve stem always falls, the tire always falls at the valve stem last. It falls onto the rim last. So the valve stem's here and the tire's here. So I'm going to take my bar to do this. I can always put in there to give me a little bit of extra leverage. So my valve stem's just over here. I want the tire to slide on the top side there and then come down underneath this. As you see over here, a lot of tension built up, and this is the last spot there was tension. So if there was a sensor here, it wouldn't hurt the sensor or create tension on it. So I'm going to take my core remover. I'm going to take my core back out, and I'm just going to hold it in my hand, and I'm going to put air into this. Put air into the tire. It's going to inflate a lot faster with the core out than the core in. So I want to set these tires here to 35 psi. That's the manufacturer's spec. So I put slightly a bit more air because I got the core in my hand. It's ready. That's kind of how I'm holding it, like this. Go like this and put it back in. Then I'm going to double check my tire pressure and set it at 35 psi. Show you how to balance a tire. Now this is a steel wheel, so we're going to do a dynamic balance on it. Alloy wheels could be a little different. You could be using a dynamic balance, but you could also be using sticky weights. But this is a steel wheel, and we're going to be clipping the weights onto either side. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Alright, so first things first. On most balancers, you got a couple different cones that can go into here. We want to find the proper cone. So cone looks something like this. There's multiple different sizes. As you can see, I have 3 sizes there. I'll pull out my 4th one. And then it goes really big. So you want to pick out the proper size cone. So you want it to fit in the center bore of the rim. So now that we found our cone, there's 2 ways of mounting the rim onto the balancer. Say there's a stem that comes out of here where it sits on the balancing shaft. You can take your hold down clamp, and either spin it on so it goes on like this, or you take this cone and you put it on the back side so it protrudes through, and you get your cone that goes on to your hold down. Oh. So once you're, say the balancing shaft coming through here, your rim would come in and slide onto this, and then you would screw this down on the top. So everything stays snug together. So there's two ways you can do that on a good majority of rims. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to balance this up, and I believe we're going to mount the cone from the outside. Then we're going to take another cone and we're going to put it like this. So when this pushes against here, it's not too close to the rim, it's out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go get that mounted up. We're going to show you how it's done. Alright, so we're going to take our tire, we're going to put it on the balancer, just so it goes in on the balancing shaft. We're going to take our cone, slide that in, lift our tire up onto the cone. Then I'm going to take my second one, I'm going to slide this in, and then take my hold down, put that into place. And you lock it down into place. Alright, so you're going to have to measure a couple things here. So on this machine, the first step you want to do, it's a manual setup. So you want to measure from the machine to just the inside of the lip here where the weight goes on. As you can see how I have it right there. So we got, on the measuring tape that's on the machine, we have a 62, and I believe that's in millimeters. So then we're going to go over to the machine here, and we're going to put in 62. So I got one arrow up and one arrow down. So we want 62. That's for the distance from here to here. Then we have another measuring tool. We want to measure from the inside of the lip there to the inside of the lip on the other side and see what we have. Now this looks to be about a 6.5 to 7 inch rim, closer to 7, so we're going to put 7. So my second set of numbers is 7. Then this is a 16 inch tire, so our third set of numbers is the diameter of the tire. So we have the distance of the rim away from the machine, the width of the rim, and the diameter of the rim. So this is a 16 inch tire. Now we're already set on dynamic, so we can give this a spin, give the little motor a little bit of a brake, give it a little jump start, and then we can close our hood. So on the inside of the rim, we want 1 ounce, and on the outside we want 0.75 of an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce. So we're going to rotate our tire. I'll just see if you guys can see that light. Yeah. So as you can see here, this is all lighting up, and when I move it away, there's just a little dot. And as I move the tire, the dots move. So that's for positioning of where you want to put your weight. So now that the line on the outside is fully lit up, you want to take the top of the tire, top of the balancing shaft, and you want to apply the weight on the outside. So we're going to take our 0.75, just verify that it's the correct weight. You want to put it right on the very top. And then we're going to do the same thing for the inside. So now the inside, we're just going to put the weight along here. So we're going to need a 1 ounce. So you want it right on the top. Now that both weights are applied, we can give it a spin and close the hood. And there you go. That's how you balance a steel wheel. Alright, so that's how you dynamically balance a steel wheel using a balancer. Some balancers are a little bit different than others. Some of them don't allow you to give it that little jump start. This one allows you to give it a little jump start. So some there will lock your rim in place for you and tell you exactly where to put it. This one here, it needs a little bit of, you got to work with it a little bit. So all depends on what you have for a balancer. Oh look, I got a hair sticking out. Oh, I got it. Alright, so, sorry, it was bugging me. So yeah, that's how you balance a tire. And if you haven't already and you'd like to, hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with all our future videos, hit that little bell button down over there in the corner. And we'll see you guys next time.